Okay, so since the last one, I've added two things. I've added an age rating here because this game's starting to get violent. So yeah, the other thing I've added here is colourful names and colourful health because console's getting a bit boring and ugly to look at. So I've added some colours here just to make it a bit more fun. So that's added inside display health, and the age rating was just some of a sub like this. So I'm going to collapse this now. You can freeze it if you want to look at that. So here we're talking about this being not very well done, I guess say. So what we can do is make an array of objects. So dim p array as, this is gonna be wrong, new person. This might be how you think it works. Doesn't work like this. What you need to do to create an array of objects, you create an array of the template, and inside the template you create objects. So here you'd say new comma new person. So that works, and that's good because this way you don't need to have an identifier, which is what these are called. You can just do this, and this means you can do it with a loop. So if you want to add 100 of these, you won't have to type it out. You can make a for loop, and then you can just keep adding these with a for loop. But since it's only 2, I'm not going to do that. Just going to do it online here, and then I'm going to get rid of this. Okay, let's get some errors now. So here, 0, 1. Okay, so we only need to do this once now because we're using an array. So for I is equal to 0 to p.length minus 1, because we might add more later on. So it's good to do it so you don't have to change as much. So it's always good to do this rather than putting 1. So I'm going to delete this here. Okay, so here we don't want to put Bob. We want to put p position I dot name and that. So that should work. That this one do I dot stab, and then position I plus 1. This is kind of a weird game, like for doing this whole kind of stabbing thing, and the game won't be all about stabbing other people. So this is kind of temporary. If I equals 0, then else. Just doing this because it's temporary. So here you'd want to stab the previous one if it was. So if it's 0, you want to stab the person above. If it's 1, you want to stab the person behind in the array. So that's just a temporary fix. That's not very efficient, but for now that will do. And here you can do for each pla in pla dot display health. Okay, so that'll fix that. I mean, that more efficient. So this should work now. It will look the same when run, hopefully. As you can see, that works. Now the only other thing that's not very efficient is this. So what we can do is make a constructor. Now what a constructor is, it's a sub that gets called when an object of a class is created. So to create a constructor, you do sub new, then you type, then I'm going to add a parameter n as string. So we're going to pass in the name to the constructor. So then you will say name is equal to n. Now we get some errors on the module because we haven't passed it in here. So what you do when you create person, you just do bracket here and then say we'll say Bob here and John here, and then we can get rid of this. So that's more efficient, done on 1.9. If you're wondering about this whole parameter thing, what you do, let's say, there's 2 ways of doing it if you're not making an array. You do dim a as person is equal to new person parameter, you know, that kind of thing. So that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it, the quick way, If you know you're going to make an object of that template, I was saying template because it's a nice word to get your head around it. It's a class, but yeah. A quick way of doing it is just delete this, and that will work too. But yeah, that's where you put your parameters here, just straight after the name of the class when you've made an object of it. So yeah. So now this constructor should work, and it says Bob, so you can see that it works.